Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me today. For those who do not know me, my name is Sin and I will be guiding you through your next 15 minutes of a Hatha class. Hatha class, the difference between this and a flow is that it is not necessarily structured with the flow, so you're not going through the upward dogs, downward dog movements of a natural vinyasa practice. This is more unstructured. We'll be holding some poses for some time to help kind of really just attain some of those benefits of the postures that we'll be doing. If you have a block handy, that would be really great for support. If not, you can grab a couple books, maybe just one big fat book, and let's get started today since it's a quick 15-minute class. Let's come together on our mats in child's pose, bringing our big toes to touch, our knees as wide apart as you can. Send your sit bones towards your heels and then slowly walk your hands out in front of you. And then bringing your forehead down towards your mat. Maybe it can touch, maybe it does not, and that's okay, you can just hang here. Taking a few moments now to just surrender and connect to your breath. So from here now, I just want you to take a few deep breaths, whatever your natural breath is at this time, and let go of your day, whatever you have to do later on, anything that you've accomplished, and just take this time now to connect your mind, your body, and your breath. Maybe taking this time to set an intention for yourself, to maybe just stay present, to be grateful. And then wherever you are, let's take one deep cleansing breath together. Empty out all your air. And then just take a deep breath in, filling up all the way, noticing how your rib cage expands, your belly. Holding it at the top for 3, for 2, for 1. And as you open your mouth, exhale, let it all out. Sinking deeper into the mat, letting go. Surrendering to this body. And then when you're ready, on your next breath in, looking towards your hands. And then as you inhale, reach the right arm up, opening up. And then as you exhale, bringing it through for a nice twist. You want to make sure that the back of the right hand is planted down as well as your right shoulder. Staying here with the left arm extended out in front, or maybe you can tend the fingers in front of that right forearm, and then just work on twisting gently, sending that left shoulder blade back, and then just going as deep as you're able to today, honoring where you are. Taking one more breath here, and then when you're ready, as you exhale, maybe bringing the hand back, both hands back, and dropping the forehead back down. And your next breath in, look towards the hands, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, and on your exhale, bring that left arm down, planting that left palm, the back of the hand down, the left shoulder, and again, keeping this arm extended, the right arm, or maybe propping it into a tent. Noticing how this helps you encourage a deeper twist, pushing onto that right hand. Staying here for one breath. And as you exhale, gently undo. From here, coming into a tabletop. Taking a moment here to stack yourself up so your knees are underneath your hips, your hands are underneath your shoulders. Spread the fingers wide onto the mat, and you really want to ground down through the knuckles of the hands and your fingertips. You want to make sure that the wrist creases are parallel to the top of the mat and your index fingers are perpendicular. Really spreading them wide. And then we're just going to take a few cat and cows here. So as you inhale, send that tailbone up, drop the belly and lift the gaze. Exhale, send the tailbone down, belly button to spine, and then push the floor away as you look in between your feet. Inhale one more time, drop belly, lift the gaze, tushy all the way up. Exhale slowly, pushing the floor away, really pushing the shoulder blades against your back and away from each other as you let your head go. And then just take a few moments following your own breath, doing a couple more rounds of cat and cow, or gently warming up the spine. Bring in some movement, some fluidity. Imagining yourself as a nice strong wave moving with your breath. And then when you're ready, on your next exhale, let's move back in tabletop. And then from here, I want you to bring your right knee behind the right wrist, your right foot behind the left wrist. And if your shin is parallel, you want to flex that foot. If not, you can point the toes. Meaning to scoot that left knee as far back as you can, setting up for pigeon pose. And then from here, you want to send the right hip back, the left hip forward, point the toes, and press that big toe down. So your nails, especially that pinky toe as well. And then notice that when you press that pinky toenail down, your hips kind of rotate. So you want your hip points facing forward. Take a moment here. And either staying here or exhale, leading with your heart melt onto your mat. Coming onto your forearms, maybe making a pillow with your forearms, and maybe coming all the way down. If you notice that there's a big gap in between your right glute and the mat, you can rest on a block. And then just take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. Taking deep inhales to fill up all the way down to your belly. And then slow exhales through the nostrils, softening where you need to soften, challenging yourself to stay if it is challenging, knowing that this too shall pass. On your next breath in, slowly come back up with the help of your hands. We're not undoing the pose. We're placing the left hand on top of the right knee, so that you have a nice L shape. Your left elbow's underneath your left shoulder. With your right hand, you're tenting the fingers. Easy twist towards the right. Pushing with that right hand, those fingertips upwards. You're sending that right shoulder back. And you're pressing that top of that left foot down. One more breath here as you exhale, slowly undo. Plant the hands, and then walking your left knee back in. Coming back into tabletop, setting up for the left side pigeon. Left knee behind left wrist. Left foot behind the right wrist, and again, parallel or pointed toes. And wherever you are, scoot that right knee as far back as you can get it. Point the toes, press those toes down. And then just take a moment before you go down, square your hips forward so the right hip point goes forward, the left hip goes back. You can test this by lifting up your hands and then noticing if you're able to, if you're tilting to one way, you need to send that right hip forward. And then with the help of your hands as you exhale, melt your heart down. Using this time now to breathe and just notice where there is tension. If there is resistance, take a moment to send a deep breath in. Send some love to that spot. And then as you exhale, allow yourself to soften and to release. Pushing that top of that right foot down onto the mat, especially that right pinky toe, noticing how that helps to square the hips. And then on your next breath in, slowly with the help of your hands, coming back. Remember, we're doing a twist, so place your right hand on top of the left knee, tenting the left, fingertips on the outside of that left knee, and then slowly twist towards the left. Maybe your gaze goes up. breath here, and as you exhale, slowly undo. And this time, bringing the feet out in front, we're going to place the left shin parallel to the front of your mat, and then the right foot on top of that left knee. And you want to make sure that your feet are flexed. There might be a big gap between the right foot and left foot and the right knee. So try not to worry about that. If this is too much for you, you can stand with your hands behind you, but you want to sit nice and tall, imagining a long line from the crown of your head to your sit bone. And on your breath in, starting with your arms behind you. As you exhale, slowly hinge forward, coming as flat as you possibly can. So think of leading with your heart towards the mat, and then just going wherever you go, maybe noticing that your right knee is touching the left foot now or not. If this is okay, you can reach the arms out in front, and then just keep walking them forward as you slowly bend over. Maybe your forearms can reach the floor or the mat. Let the head go. Noticing how that stretches the outside of the right hip and behind, giving some love to the lumbar spine. Your next breath in with the help of your hands, slowly come back up, and then we're going to switch sides. So dropping the right shin down, the left foot on top of the right knee, and make sure that the feet are flexed. Protect the knees, and again, starting with your arms behind you, maybe you like to extend it a little bit deeper, so reach your arms up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, leave with your heart down, folding, going wherever you go, and then just noticing, maybe closing the eyes, focusing more on the sensations in your body, learning to listen to where it is that you're feeling. If there is pain, back away. Make sure the feet are flexed. But if there's just that sweet spot, stretch, that moment where you feel your body getting ready to release, this is where you want to be. And when you're ready in your next breath in, slowly coming back up. And this time now getting ready to come back into tabletop. So just take a quick moment, set up hands underneath your shoulders, spread the fingers wide. And then from here, take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're gonna fire that low belly. So pretend you have to pee and you're squeezing your pelvic floor. Step into plank. And in plank, you wanna do as we did in cat and cow. Really push the floor away with your hands. You're gonna push the shoulder blades against your back, away from each other, so protracting. And then think of sending your sit bones towards your heels. And then imagine you're standing, you're pushing against a wall. So there's a wall behind you. And you're kicking it with your heels, so your legs are nice and activated. You're pushing the tops of the thighs towards the ceiling. And yes, I'm talking a lot. Don't hurt me. You guys are holding. You got this. If you need to drop your knees, please do so. Again, just listen to your body. Closing your eyes if you need to, not focusing so much on the look, but the feel. One more breath here. Staying for the exhale. And then when you're ready, drop the knees down and slowly begin to come all the way down to your mat. Point the toes, press the tops of the feet onto the mat. Make sure you hug the elbows in towards each other. And on your next breath in, slowly coming up into baby cobra. Exhale, forehead back down to the mat. Coming back another 2 more times. Inhale, come up. Maybe come up a little bit deeper. You want to be light on the fingers. Exhale, back down. Another inhale for cobra. Remember to push the tops of the feet so your kneecaps are lifted off the mat. And then maybe staying here for a few breaths. Seeing if you can pick up your hands. Really squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. One more breath here. Exhale, release back down. Tuck the toes under, push the hands and send the hips up and back into Downward facing dog. Down dog, make sure that your feet are parallel. Pushing onto the big toe mounds, the baby toe mounds, and then draw those heels down towards the mat. Putting a bend in the knee if you need to. And then just think of exhaling, sending that tailbone out towards the ceiling and straightening the legs. Using your breath, pushing onto the hands. And then maybe you want to walk your dog, bending the knees. Drawing one heel down and then the opposite heel. Maybe wiggling your hips, whatever feels good for you today. And when you're ready, bend the knees. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, look towards the hands. Slowly walk to the top of the mat. Coming to meet it, forward fold. Feet are parallel. Planting all three corners down. Take a moment here. Inhale, come into a nice flat back. Crown of the head, tailbone are aligned. Exhale, bowing down. Just hanging out here for a few breaths. Maybe putting a big bend in the knees. You want to let your belly rest on the top of the thighs. And using the exhale to slowly straighten the legs. Coming up halfway. Folding one more time on the exhale. And then inhale, root the feet down before you come up all the way to standing. Take a moment here, and then just stepping wide onto your mat. So we're coming into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Check again that the feet are nice and parallel towards each other, placing the hands on the hip. Nice and tall. Draw the lower ribs in towards the hips. Fire that pelvic floor so again, pretend you have to pee. Squeeze it in. And as you exhale, think of hinging down from your hips, folding over the legs. You're reaching the crown of the head towards the mat. Maybe your hands can touch. If not, this is a great spot for your blocks to help you rest your hands on something. And if your hands are reaching down, maybe reaching towards the back of the mat. You want to make sure you're grounding through your feet, putting a slight micro bend in the knees so they are not locked. And then on your next breath in, coming back into a nice flat back. Place the left hand underneath the left shoulder. And then as you inhale, reach the right arm up, twisting towards the right side. One breath here. Exhale, undo. Right hand underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, lift the left arm up, twist to the opposite side. Remember, all three corners of both feet are grounding down. You notice how maybe the left foot wants to lift. Exhale, undo. Bending down, forward folding over the legs. Coming up, and then heel toeing yourself back. Coming to sit down onto our mats and onto our backs. Give your knees a nice tight squeeze, and then just rock side to side. Giving your low back a nice massage. And whenever you're ready, bring the soles of your feet to touch. Placing them down onto the mat as close to your groin as you can. Arms by your side, palms facing up, maybe tucking the shoulder blades in. Letting your eyes close. Taking a deep breath here, filling up all the way, expanding the lungs. Your belly rises. And then open the mouth, exhale. Let it go, release. Letting yourself melt onto your mat. Taking a quick moment here just to thank yourself. Thank your body. And I'd like to take this time now to thank you for joining me today. If you're able to stay here for another 5 minutes or as long as you possibly can, I encourage you to do so. This is a great posture for low back pain. If not, you'd like to come up, bring the knees towards your chest, your arms extend out and overhead, rolling over to one side, and with the help of your hands, coming to sit with your eyes closed, reaching the arms overhead, And as you exhale, bringing them in prayer in front, bowing down. And together we say Namaste.